Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Sunday, March 6th, 2022. Sunday FUNday, as we like to call it here at ECSI. I always preach about QUICKSAND Sunday, the public, the degens, and the chase game today. So whether you woke up this morning with a bad Saturday, a bad week, and you say, I'm going to get all my units back today, or if you woke up this morning after a great day like us, and you're looking at your weekly number and you say it's a free swing. Well, it's not. It's your money. You are less than 13 hours away from what we call Envelope Monday. That's right. You actually can collect on Monday and get paid. But that's for another story. Today's a special day for us at ECSI. It is Whiskey Sunday, plus 300 on the Badgers to win the Big Ten regular season that we talked about 3.5 weeks ago. And we're opened up 13-point favorites against Nebraska today. I think it's down to about 12. But a couple days off from the bankroll. Had some prior engagements yesterday, and Friday we were on with the midday market report. And just a little breath of fresh air, a rejuvenator. Next week, we will be back, obviously, today, tomorrow, with the bankroll, potentially Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon, we have a special guest, Taylor Mathis, at the Superbook, Arizona and Vegas. And our regular cast of characters on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll have to check in with Bernie and Dave to see where they are, as we are the last full week before we head out to Vegas on the 15th. And we'll be doing some live remote shows, hopefully from, from South Point, maybe the Westgate, maybe the Circa. Been doing a lot of talking with Mr. Murray at Beeson, who does his shows live at the Circa. But a lot to get to as we wrap up today, and some of the smaller conference, the Drake, going for the win against Loyola Chicago today, and some other smaller schools. But without further ado, let's bring in the man from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Good morning, Scotty.
Good morning, Jeff. Seems like a long time since we've had a conversation.
Yes, and I forgot in the opening, shout out to our loyal cast of characters, friends, colleagues, our loyal listeners, Mr. Lucky, Mr. Follow Fade, Billy Hewlin, Mr. Marty Lowe. A few people I saw yesterday that say, hey, I try to catch you every morning. You know who you guys are. Mr. Roney, Mr. Gary Brown, our meteorologist for our football show next fall. Can't wait for that. And everyone else on Twitter and Twitch. How you been, Mr. Scott?
Oh, things are good, but I mean, it's nice and warm, and it's great time frame to be in Florida. I mean, you know, I still sit here and have to remember that it's cold to other places, but it's really nice right here right now, and we don't have all that humidity and stuff, so it's good to be down here running around in Florida right now. I just wish I was at like spring training games or something.
Yeah, they're supposed to meet today. I guess we can open the show before we get into the card. Any thoughts where they stand, where they are? I guess Bernie sent me a few DMs on Friday and was talking about, the 14 team playoff was back on the table. They're going to try to really use that as leverage to jack up the minimum salary and obviously to add more money into the pool. Thoughts where we stand, maybe thoughts where we're heading for this week?
Well, this is the association. The players are going to be presenting their offer today, and then the negotiations go on from there. So if they're going to play give and take and do some different things, I think that they're not going to be too crazy about not having about having a 14 game playoffs if it's structured properly, or at least in their mind structured properly. And then the derivative of that would be is that if they get that, they're giving it back to the owners, then maybe the owners will give them something on some of the other side. So it's a negotiating start. I think I was looking at Twitter, and one of the reporters called out 4 owners who voted for the CBT to no. And just off the top of my head, I know it was the Angels owner, the Tigers owner, the Diamondbacks owner, and I can't remember the 4th one. But they're the only 4. So they were the ones that were getting called out for that negotiation within the negotiation on that side that was saying, hey, no, we're not, we don't want any more money going into this and all that stuff. So then they were getting all caught up. So, and now I'm seeing all these, this stuff where, the popular phrases now where all these sanctions are coming in against Putin and all that stuff. Now, all these places are saying they're banning the commissioner, and he can't go here, and he can't go to a game here, and he can't go watch this porn site, or he can't do this. Some of this stuff is really pretty funny. And then I saw 2 Dansby Swanson and Jock Peterson. They got hired and are working in a pizza place for Papa John's Pizza. So I just thought that was kind of humorous too. I mean, obviously they're not there to make an income or whatever. They're just there for publicity. But it's some of this stuff is pretty comical, what they go through and what they do and how that stuff works. Jameson Tyon, he put out a tweet and it said, hey guys, I'm interested in watching college baseball games. So if you know of any good college baseball game links and different things, just I want to send them my way. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, everybody's playing it to the hilt. So I don't have a feeling anymore. I thought things were really close. I still think things are closer than what people think. And I think it's just a matter of what it's going to take to move some. And I think the owner side, I think it's the owners that are in the lower payroll numbers or the mid markets, if you want to call them that. They're the ones who are the ones objecting to most of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to. I think I've kind of taken a step back in regards to, we got a lot of good friends, a lot of good colleagues in the Fires. I don't want to say I put my heart on my sleeve here. I was fully expecting, last Monday to be the day where they'd be in spring training. They would be, skipping to my Lou, and we would be getting a step closer to March 31st and April 1st as our, first weekend of baseball, and it stings. It hurts. I always use that reference, banana in a tailpipe. And listen, I remember '94. Not that I was invested as I am now, obviously. It sucks. It sucks in regards to the billionaires versus the millionaires, and each individual out there in the media spins it to the way they want to spin it. And certain colleagues with check marks in these lanes go to bed with certain people. So they're going to make sure that they spin it the way those guys want to. And it sucks. And enough's enough. We both know it's a game where you kind of all in or out. It's very simple, and the people that just turn their cheek and say, you know what, the hell with them, I don't need them anymore. Well, I don't think you were ever fully invested anyway. So I don't feel for either side. I don't.
No, I think this will get resolved pretty quick. I mean, I think I think the players feel like that people are on their side, but I don't think there's enough people on their side that that are in that certain places. And if they have the youth on their side, that doesn't matter. Youth doesn't watch baseball anyway. So it's you got to get guys like me on their side, and I'm not on their side. So or guys like you, or guys that are invested in the game. So I'm not into that. So I'm just ready for them to get going. I'm ready to figure out who's going to play where and get some things happening, and I think there'll be enough meaningful games that it'll be a meaningful season. And then you don't have this problem for another 5 to 7 years, and maybe over those 5 to 7 years or so, the relationships can get stronger so that we don't have these kind of issues in the first place.
I mean, a crazy concept is, with 2 years out of an agreement, actually to start talking, and then maybe with 1 year left, you actually have some common talking and conversations. Hey, I'm going to be in Tampa for the weekend. Let's sit down and talk here. And then actually, picking up the phone when someone calls you. And so you don't have these stoppages. So when we're getting to the end of the season and the hot stove, you're just rolling into another agreement. But that's enough. That's a time. We'll approach that after we first get this one resolved. By then, you and I will probably be off into the sunset. I'll be in Arizona. You'll be in Tampa. I'll fly you in, or you fly in for the weekend, so we get some Arizona spring training games, and then I'll just go back with you. So then we head to Florida for those spring training games.
And nothing wrong with that. Other than to be honest, watching these spring training games, actually, it's just good to be out there. It's not fun to watch the games.
It's free sun tanning.
Well, it's not free anymore. These are expensive.
All right, Sunday fun day. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games on the NBA hardwood. First of all, I don't know if we should celebrate, hold the parade. The Lakers won, and now the Golden State free falling. Just hats off to the show that LeBron put on last night. Now, I didn't watch the game. I did see the highlights, and I actually, in one of my rooms, the game was on, and so I was catching. He just put on a clinic. Last time I heard, he had 49. I assume he got to the 50 burger.
56.
Have a day, LeBron. Take a bow. So I assume La La Land says, see, we're just waiting for the playoffs if we make the playoffs. But anyways, the board and stage is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I was looking at these things. There's really only there's a couple games going on in the afternoon. That Boston and Brooklyn game. My numbers are not so favorable for Boston, but I would be only betting the Boston side if I was playing this game because of how bad Brooklyn's been over the last say 5 games. But I'm just going to stay away. The numbers look like the right side is going to be being bet right here. I got small amounts of. I got 54% of the money right now on the Celtics, and depending upon what you look at, I guess, for the opening number, but it's been moving in the right direction. So I'm just going to stay off that game. My number is really close to, it's more like 3 points, 2.5 points for Boston. And I'm just going to back off that one. The other one's kind of interesting, that Phoenix and Milwaukee game. They already played each other when Chris Paul wasn't playing or whatever. And, now Booker's not going to play in this game. So with Booker not playing in this game, I'm just going to totally stay off of that one. That's why that number is so big. And I'm just going to leave that alone too. So I'm not going to play any games in the morning. So that means I only have leans for now until we get to the end. And I'm leaning on Cleveland -4 today against Toronto. Toronto's not been playing really good. Not that Cleveland's been playing the greatest, but this I think is a good spot for them. Toronto had a day off yesterday, but they played back-to-back the night before. So this will be their 3rd game in 4 nights. and they're on the road, and Toronto's not been playing super great. And Cleveland at home is pretty good, and they play really good defense. So I like the idea that Cleveland can do well here, and they've been good a matchup for Toronto. They seem to struggle looking at how they do in Cleveland. And the other one I'm leaning on right now is New Orleans plus the 4 points against Denver. Denver's really good at home. We all know that just because of the altitude and so forth. But I don't know if people have really been paying attention to this team, this New Orleans team. Over the last 2 weeks, New Orleans is number 1 in spread differential in the NBA, and it's not even close. They are plus 28.5 points over those 14 games. They are number 3 in offensive points per possession per 100, and they are number 1 on defense. So if you're number 3 in offense, number 1 on defense, you're going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. And I kind of like that idea, and I don't think they're getting enough credit. So I'm going to probably take New Orleans plus the 4, or at least look that way. Those 2 games are the ones I'm leaning on right now.
You know, I talked on Friday at 2:00 with our buddy Riley Maggs on the NBA, and I thought the stench of the night was the Phoenix and the Knicks game. That line was just begging for Phoenix money, and it took a bank shot from Phoenix to win that game. And now I look at this number and I'm like, holy cow! The Clippers only opened up 4 against the Knicks.
Right.
And that smells to holy heaven. They Derek, our buddy at Circa, and Chris Andrews at South Point got some overnight money on the Clippers. They have moved it to 5. So that game really sticks out for the eye test. And for me, Scotty, as Brooklyn's trying to get the pieces back together, I think as well as the Celtics have been playing, and don't forget too on earlier last week, the return of KD where they were +3 and they go to -6 or some stupid number, whatever it was, and they lose outright where KD put 31. I think that number is really enticing Celtic money. It opened up in my eyes too low at 3.5 there. So that's where the eye test for me is. But it's Sunday, and usually some crazy things happen. So we'll see what happens there. I'm going to tiptoe down to the college ranks here. Rotation number 801, 802 at 12 p.m. Penn State at Rutgers. Rutgers opens at 5.5, still 5.5, 6 at Westgate. I think the number's pretty spot on. Two teams that I think emulate each other. I think Rutgers win. I think their number's going to be right on the money there. At 12 o'clock, this game is very intriguing. The return of Penny Hardaway after the meltdown, and this Memphis team has been really clicking versus a Houston team, which when it's clicking takes no prisoners. Houston opens at 2, went to 2.5. I see 2 things happening here, Scott. Houston wins by a boatload or Memphis wins by a boatload. I mean, it could be that back and forth game, but I don't know. I think it's intriguing, and you'll know early. So whatever side you guys decide to jump on, just be ready. Because if you're on the wrong side, I think you're going to know early. 62% of the bets, 51% of the money coming in on Houston, opened at 2, and now 2.5, Scott. What do you say?
Well, this is the number 1 bet game of the day so far. That Nets Celtics game has got $137,000 on it, but it's not, it's 1 o'clock start. This one's a noontime start. It's got $186,000 on it, which is quite a bit for a college basketball game. 62% of the money, 73% of the tickets, all on Houston.
A gun to my head, I'd take a swing with Penny and Memphis. This would be the staple win, obviously. This Houston team, like I says, if you're on the wrong side, you know early. So both teams are like that, guys. Both teams are like that. I would not expect a back and forth 2-point game here. I think one runs and hides, but what do I know? 12:30, Big Ten, and today's a Big Ten day, guys. There's a bunch of Big Ten games and conference finals and semis. So, rotation number 805, 806, Michigan at Ohio State, opened at 4, still at 4. I'm showing 60% of the bets, 58% of the money on the Buckeyes. We currently have a line freeze there, Scott.
Yeah, this shows 138,000 on the game. 55% of the tickets on Michigan. I mean, 55% of the cash on Michigan. 58% of the tickets on Ohio State.
So it's a battle of money versus tickets. The over opened at 144.5, now down to 141. So first one to 70 wins. Which Michigan team's going to show up? Wow. Stay away, enjoy it, grab some popcorn. Here's our game at 2 o'clock. Rotation number 807, 808, Nebraska at Wisconsin. Very simply put here on the show, I think it was about 3.5 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks even. We put our money where our mouth was when whiskey was chasing Purdue in Illinois. We took a swing with the Badgers plus 300 to win the regular season. And of course, the next day they lose outright at home to Rutgers. But Purdue slipped, Illinois slipped. So now we have an opportunity to cash our plus 300. We just need them to win. They opened at 13, now down to 11.5, Scott.
Yeah, $44,000 on the game, so much, much lower than the other ones, but not as low as some. 62% of the money, 66% of the tickets on Wisconsin.
So that's some reverse line movement there. I expect Wisconsin to take care of business. Nebraska actually has shown a little flash in the last week or 10 days after Hoiberg got his contract extension. I don't know how. You could thank Scott Frost or whoever over there. But just whiskey win. That's all we want is whiskey win. Rotation number 809, 810, Central Florida at Tulsa. Central Florida opened up at 2.5, now 1, Scott, and I'm showing 55% of the bets, 60% of the money still coming in on Central Florida.
Yeah, this shows 40,000 on the game, 71% of the money on Tulsa, 50-50 on the tickets.
All right, so conflicting information, that would show the reason why that game is dropped. Rotation number 815, 816, Maryland at Michigan State. Which Michigan State team's going to show up? And we know the twerps. Which twerp team is going to show up? Opened at 6, stayed at 6. It is 6.5 at DraftKings. 58% of the bets, 86% of the money on the Spartans.
Yeah, 28,000 on the game so far. 72% of the money, 67% of the tickets, all on Michigan State.
What would have been the game of the day now, I think, is meaningless, as I was talking to Riley Magnuson on Friday. Obviously, if Wisconsin was to lose, the Iowa-Illinois game shows as a lot of meaning for seedings in the Big Ten. A line that opened at 3 and now is 4. 64% of the bets, 50% of the money coming in on Illinois. And this Iowa team is playing great, probably the best in the Big Ten right now. So pretty much a statement in my eyes on Vegas opening at 3 and now moving it to 4 overnight.
Yeah, I'm showing some different things here. This is 45,000 on the game, so it's one of the bigger ones in the evening so far. 59% of the money, 56% of the tickets on Iowa.
Get the lines going the other way. This will be a big game. There'll be 100 and change on this by the end of the day. Let's keep an eye on Wisconsin, make sure that they won the Big Ten. Then I'll double check on the seedings. I'll put it out on my timeline at EC Sports Invest, the actual repercussions if Iowa wins or Illinois wins. We're going to tiptoe down to a few of the conference games. Northeastern Townsend, no. Come on. Rotation number 823, 824, Delaware and Drexel. This opened up a pick, and now Delaware -1, 50% of the bets, 83% of the money coming in on Delaware.
Yeah, I'm showing 29,000 on the game, 71% of the money, 59% of the tickets on Delaware.
Stay away there. This one, again, this Wilmington team has got no respect. This Elon team is not good. 825, 826, Elon versus NC Wilmington. 73% of the bets, 87% of the money on Wilmington, yet the line hasn't moved, Scott.
Yeah, I'm showing a little different here. 22,000 on the game, 61% of the money on Elon, 78% of the tickets on NC Wilmington.
All right, that's why that line hasn't moved. Keep an eye on Elon there. Keep an eye on Elon. 827, 828, College of Charleston versus Hofstra. Line opened at 3, shot rate to 4, 82% of the bets, 79% of the money, all coming in on Hofstra.
Yeah, only 17,000 on the game, 72% of the money, 78% of the tickets on Hofstra.
This is one of the games of the day in the MVC. Winner goes dancing. Put it this way. I think the Drake needs to win this game to get in. I think Loyola Chicago is already in. So this is one of those tough games here where I saw on, I think it was Lenardi had them first 4 in. Now you don't want, for Loyola Chicago, you don't want to lose here and then get caught Sunday sitting there as one of the teams that should have been in that didn't get in. So 56% of the bets, 54% of the money in on Loyola Chicago. They have looked fabulous. Opened at 5, still at 5, Scott.
Yeah, 56,000 on the game, 78% of the money, 59% of the tickets on Loyola.
I mean, the +5 looks intriguing, but that also could be a reason to get you to Drake. I think this is going to be just a fun game to watch, guys, honestly. A flip in the UL Lafayette Troy. Troy opens up -1 now. Lafayette -1, even 1.5 at most of the Vegas Strip.
Yeah, this is 5,900 on the game so far. 79% of the money, 58% of the tickets on UL Lafayette.
Okay. And here's a big overnight move. Rotation number 837, 838. It's one of the late games tonight. App State opened up -1. Now Georgia State -3.5. I'm showing 57% of the bets, 58% of the money, all on Georgia State, Scott.
Yeah, this shows a little different. It shows Georgia State as a -2 open, currently -3.5, and 53% of the bet, or 5,300 on the game. 75% of the money is on Georgia State, 53% of the tickets on Georgia State.
Okay. See if we can find any more here. One of the bigger moves here, Albany versus Hartford in an extra game, 306-213, 306-214 at 2 o'clock start. I'm showing Hartford opened at 5 now, 2.5, Scott.
Yeah, I got it the same, 2.5. $8,100 on the game, 59% of the money on Albany, and 73% of the tickets on Hartford.
All right, so that's a big move. I mean, compared from the opening to the overnight move. So keep an eye on Albany plus the 2.5 there. NHL today.
So I got one for you here, Jeff, to look at. That St. Louis, New Jersey game. It's what is it, 55, 56?
Yep.
This shows $78,000 on the game already. And when I go in there to look at it, there's been 2 wagers for betting on St. Louis. That is, one was $12,000 and the other one was over 20. So you got 2 big bets so far on St. Louis in that game.
And it's kind of comical because Wager Talk is, showing 52% of the bets, 78% of the money on the Devils. It opened at minus 170 plus 145. Now it's all the way down to minus 127 plus 116. And you're showing some heavy bets on St. Louis.
Yeah, this is 78,000, 66% of the money, 75% of the tickets on St. Louis, but the number keeps falling. And there's two big bets made.
All right. Well, again, the bag play finally had a loss on Kansas, so it's at 3-1. This isn't as big an eye opener, but in a hockey game that starts at 1 and to have that kind of money already on it, I guess I have to tell you guys, keep an eye on St. Louis there. This game makes no sense to me, but I'll throw it out there. 57-58 rotation number, Dallas at Minnesota. Minnesota opening up minus 135, now minus 147 on the Wild.
Yeah, this shows 43,000 on the game, so it kind of tells you like that other game's like double. And there's 82% of the money on Minnesota, 72% of the tickets on Minnesota.
So keep an eye on the Wild there. Rangers travel to Winnipeg. Winnipeg steals us a win on Friday in extras in overtime. 67% of the bets, 68% of the money all coming in on the Rangers. It opened up minus 120, now minus 115.
Yeah, this one shows only $7,900 on the game, 84% of the money on the Rangers, 85% of the tickets on the Rangers.
Yeah, big game for both teams. And the last game tonight, San Jose at Anaheim. We had the Preds yesterday win 8-0. And now San Jose travels to Anaheim. Anaheim opened at 165, still at 165. I think especially a late night. Now, I like to talk Sundays like this, guys. Where again, it's the final day of the week for a lot of people, and a lot of people end up chasing. I call it Quicksand Sunday for a reason. This is one of the last games on the board, a San Jose team that is just horrendous right now. Yet the Ducks only opened up at 165, so I would expect a lot of Anaheim Duck money line parlays, puck line parlays. I'm just saying buyer beware. Buyer beware here.
Yeah, $10,000 on the game so far, 95% of the money, 90% of the tickets, all on Anaheim.
Any closing thoughts, Scott?
This is the last day of a good week, right? So don't mess it up on Sunday. And if anything, just sit around and watch some golf.
Hey. Yes, it has been a great week. Again, for a recap, we've had some great guests on throughout the week. For us, we start out our shows obviously in the morning and the evening. You sprinkle in some Bernie Fratto, who gave us the reasons why the deal wasn't done. Then in comes Dave Sharapan, and then in comes our cast of the end of the week with We Crossing the Border with Andrew McGinnis, talking from Wager Talk, talking some NHL and some other stuff. And hats off to him, his UFC play of the day over in the main event in the UFC comes running through. And then, of course, we go to our Windy City review on Thursday and Friday with Colton Soroka, the mid-major king, talking hoops, and then Riley Magnuson talking Cheesehead Nation, talking some Big Ten, and that gets us here to the weekend. It has been a great week. I want everyone here to end that week. I like to call Sunday Fun Day, but it's Family Day as well, as I've been taught growing up, and I'm trying to pass this on to my kids. It's the last day of the week. It's a day to decompress. It's a day to get yourself mentally, physically, spiritually ready for the next week. It's a good day to, spend with your family, have a nice dinner, talk about how the week was, what we're expecting for the next week, and to get yourself ready for the following week. So hopefully everyone else here can follow that blueprint as well. But always, always, always remember this. If you are wagering or investing today, we want you to wager and invest responsibly. If you do have a problem, there's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Because myself and Scott want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty at Webby 20 MLB. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun with these games. Cash a ticket or two if you can. Otherwise, get yourself ready for the new week, which is basically less than 12 hours away. Have a day, and myself and Scott will see you next week.